Trina and Kai had rehearsed this moment 1,000 times in their minds, yet standing outside Alexis's office, their courage nearly vanished. The door felt heavier than it should have, as if it carried the weight of everything they had buried for months. Trina's hand trembled as she reached for the handle, and Kai noticed immediately. He didn't say anything. He simply placed his hand over hers, grounding her, reminding her she wasn't alone. Inside, Alexis was reviewing documents, fully unaware that her world was about to tilt on its axis. When she looked up and saw Trina's pale face and Kai's rigid posture, her instincts flared. This wasn't a casual visit. This wasn't about school or art or even family drama. Something was deeply wrong. "Sit down," Alexis said gently, setting her papers aside. "Whatever this is, we'll take it one step at a time." Trina and Kai exchanged a glance. He nodded, silently encouraging her to begin. She took a breath, then another, as if each inhale was a battle against the fear clawing at her chest. "It started months ago," Trina said quietly. "At first, I didn't understand what was happening. I thought I was imagining things, or maybe overreacting." Alexis leaned forward, her expression soft but alert. "What kind of things?" Kai swallowed hard. "Patterns, pressure, situations that didn't feel right. Someone kept showing up where Trina was, always knowing too much, always watching." Trina's voice wavered. "I told myself it was coincidence, that Port Charles is small and people run into each other all the time. But it didn't stop. It escalated." Alexis's jaw tightened, though she said nothing. Years in the legal world had taught her when to listen and when to speak. This was a listening moment. "They made promises," Trina continued, "said everything would be easier if I just stayed quiet, if I didn't ask questions, if I didn't tell anyone." Kai's fists clenched in his lap, and when she tried to pull away, the pressure got worse, subtle at first, manipulative, emotional. Alexis felt a chill creep up her spine. "Why didn't you come to me sooner?" Trina looked down, tears blurring her vision. "Because I was scared, and because I thought if I stayed silent, no one else would get hurt." The room fell into a heavy silence. Alexis stood and walked toward the window, her back to them as she gathered herself. When she turned around again, her voice was calm, but it carried an unmistakable edge. "Who did this?" Kai shook his head. "We don't know how many people were involved. That's the worst part. It wasn't just one face. It felt like a system, like something bigger than us." Trina nodded. "Every time we thought we understood it, something changed. New rules, new expectations, and always that same message: don't talk." Alexis's legal mind was already working through possibilities, connections, past cases that suddenly seemed too close for comfort. "Did they threaten you?" Trina hesitated. "Not directly, but they didn't have to. They made it clear they could influence things, careers, reputations, futures." Kai's finally lost his composure. They were trying to control her life, her choices, who she trusted. Alexis felt anger surge through her, sharp and unrelenting. "You did the right thing by coming here. I need you to understand that." "But what if it's too late?" Trina whispered. "What if the damage is already done?" Alexis crossed the room and placed a reassuring hand on Trina's shoulder. "Then we deal with it, together." For the first time since they entered the room, Trina allowed herself to cry. Not quietly, not politely, the kind of tears that come from carrying fear for far too long. Kai wrapped an arm around her, holding her steady as Alexis gave them space to breathe. When the tears subsided, Alexis spoke again. "From this moment forward, you don't make any moves without telling me. No responding to messages, no meeting anyone alone, no secrets." Kai nodded firmly. "Agreed." Trina wiped her eyes. "There's more." Alexis stiffened. "Go on." "They wanted me to change my story about something that happened months ago, something public, something people already believe they understand." Alexis's eyes narrowed. "They wanted to rewrite the narrative." "Yes," Trina said, "and if I didn't, they said the truth would be twisted anyway." Kai added, "They're already laying groundwork, whispering, influencing, shaping perceptions." Alexis exhaled slowly. This wasn't just a personal ordeal. It was a calculated move, one designed to manipulate public opinion and silence opposition. "This explains a lot," Alexis said quietly. "Certain rumors, certain sudden shifts." Trina looked at sharply. "You've noticed it too?" "I have, and now I know why." She straightened, resolve hardening in her expression. "Listen to me carefully. Whoever did this underestimated one thing." "What's that?" Kai asked. "They underestimated how dangerous the truth can be when it's finally spoken." Trina felt something unfamiliar stir in her chest. Hope. Alexis continued. "We're going to document everything, every interaction, every pattern, every inconsistency, and we're going to do it the right way." "But what if they retaliate?" Trina asked. Alexis met her gaze without hesitation. "Then they'll expose themselves." The room felt different now, lighter, not because the problem was solved, but because it was no longer hidden. As Trina and Kai stood to leave, Alexis stopped them. "One more thing," she said. "You showed courage today, real courage. Never doubt that." Outside the office, Trina took a deep breath, the air feeling freer than it had in months. "We did it," Kai said softly. "Yes," Trina replied, "and whatever happens next, we won't face it alone." But across town, unseen and unaware, someone was already realizing that the silence they depended on had been broken, and in Port Charles, that kind of truth never stays buried long.